at Kearney Regional Medical Center in Kearney, Nebraska, at the age of 86. He was born on February 28, 1935, in Plainville, Kansas, to the late Nicholas and Beatrice Caba Fisher. On October 3, 1954, he was united in marriage to Doris Miller in Radium, Kansas. They were blessed with 2 daughters, Alicia and Crystal. Neil's life revolved around staying busy, working hard for his family, serving his friends, neighbors, and community. He held several jobs throughout his lifetime, including selling magazines for Capper's Reader Service, laboring at the local meat locker, working as an electrician and carpenter, but mostly tending to the farm while building his reputable certified wheat seed business known as Fisher's Finest Field Seeds. Say that 3 times fast. Neil was an integral part of the community and instrumental in many of the organizations that he belonged to. He served as president of the Rooks County Historical Society for several years, director for the Civil Defense Department in Plainville, was a faithful member of the Jaycees Community Betterment Program, part of the Plainville Rescue Squad, and this says 50 years, but I just saw a plaque back there that says 60 years. He worked on the chain gang for the hometown Cardinal football games and was on the Plainville Township Board until he passed away. He continued to work until he was physically no longer able, and even from his hospital bed, he made phone calls, checked on projects, and was in touch with fellow laborers up to the very last day of his life. That alone speaks volumes to the type of man that he was and the character that he possessed. In his earlier years, Neil enjoyed hunting and later in life discovered a love for gardening, woodworking, and baking. He was always very proud of his rhubarb cobblers and made sure to supply them for friends and loved ones, no matter what the occasion. And although he led a very busy life, he always made sure to make plenty of time for those he loved the most, his family and his friends. He was a very loving and compassionate man that treated everyone equally. He cared for his family with an unmet love and was always checking in on them. Neil was also a very gentle man and was kind to every animal and person he met. He certainly held a very special love for his little furry friend, Chip, who kept him company after his long days of hard work. He was devoted to his work, his family, and all those around him with a never-ending and never-tiring love. Neil is survived by his 2 loving daughters, Alicia Cotter of Littleton, Colorado, Crystal and Ward Craig of Russell, 4 grandchildren, Jennifer and Chad Hopkins, Eric and Lauren Cotter, Calder Craig and Kiefer Craig, 2 great-grandchildren, Evelyn Hopkins and Malachi Hopkins, his honorary Czech granddaughter, Kate and Martin Martikanova, and great-grandchildren, Adina and Heineck, and his loving companion, Vivian Humphrey. He was preceded in death by his parents, Nicholas and Beatrice Caba Fisher, his wife, Doris Fisher, and his sister, Jacqueline and Don Prickett. Jesus said, "Whatsoever a man soweth, that so also shall he reap." And nobody understood that better than Neil. He continually sowed kindness, service, and just gentleness to every person that he knew. And now he's reaping an eternal harvest at home with his Lord, who has already welcomed him with the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Now, I gave you a warning, and I told you we were going to do this. So I encourage you to share a story or memory. I know nobody likes to go first, so just, somebody be first, and then others will follow. You don't have to come up here. You don't have to speak from the microphone. You don't even really have to stand up. It does help us a little bit to hear you, though. But you can even say a story or share a memory from where you're seated. So somebody go first. Alan, thank you.
Neil and I have worked together for the past 16 years doing exactly this. You can imagine, in his last days, we had to lift him up in that. he would get excited and stumble in his words. But he's incredibly soft heart. He was a good man. He's going to be missed.
Thanks, Alan. Someone else? Alan got you going. I know you got something. Please.
Neil and Doris were both neighbors who lived next to them when my children were growing up and very young. And he made them wooden toys for their Christmas and they were very good neighbors to us and our kids. And now as I'm having grandchildren in order to keep them from arguing over the toys from Neil, they get to stay at my house.
That's awesome. Thank you. Anyone else?
I have to say that I've been Neil's son-in-law for 39 years, and I don't know a kinder, gentler man. And if nothing else, he was persistent. He was persistent in making sure that his family was taken care of, making sure that the meals, all the holiday meals were right. He did a lot of the cooking in the second half of his life, and everything was just always so well thought out and taken care of that he will be missed. There will be an empty spot in our house, in this world.
It's awesome. Thank you, Ward.
I guess I'll have to speak for the Brooks County Historical Society. Neil was our president and he always sat at the head of the table at our meetings and he was so kind and let everybody share their own opinions and he accepted those. He shared his history facts about the community and always had good ideas and looked forward to enlarging our facility, like the museum, and wanting to increase our membership. And he was just a very kind man, and he would often bring his rhubarb dessert and sharing our little plans.
That's great. Thank you so much.
My name's Alan with the Plainville Rescue Squad, and I had the pleasure of being around Neil and Jimmy and Neil probably the last 15, 16 years after I moved back from college. But joined the rescue squad, and Neil was always an integral part of the rescue squad, a very big part of his life. He was on top of just about everything for the first kind of probably 6 or 8 years. I just kind of stepped back and Neil and just watched Neil stay on top of everything. He was very, very passionate about the organization, and he did everything he could for fundraisers, for annual demo derby. He was always, selling ads for the flyer and going door to door and doing whatever he could. And even in the last few years when we kind of were winding the service down, and he was always very, very involved. One of the few members left that still came to all the meetings and made sure to do it. He was very attentive, very dedicated person, and we really miss him. Mr. President.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm no Neil, been along with 1970. And I used to help him cut wheat. He helped me raise hogs. He helped me feed cattle out to butcher. He let me hunt on his ground. I've never seen that man have a bad word, but I did see him mad one time. And we were on a rescue mission, well, a recovery mission that was coming over. And they pulled the grappling hook off of me and Oscar, and they took the line away from us, and we come out in the middle of the lake. And that's the only time in my life that I ever said I seen Bill. And when he got his point across, and boys went back to shore.
That's great.
They let us finish it off.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that. Please.
I don't know what to say, but
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? That's great. Thank you. Anyone else? I'll announce this again at the end, but when we're done at the cemetery, the family's invited everyone to the township hall. And I would encourage you that if you think of a story later on, please share it there, because the family loves to hear these stories. Some of these things they might have known a little bit about, a lot of them they don't. So please don't stop sharing your stories today. And when we get together following these services, please be willing to share more. Thank you.